The Nebraska football team began classes here in Lincoln on Monday. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com, but still another quote-unquote camp week for the Big Red as they're not quite yet in their Akron preparations. But as Eric Shenander said here on Monday, it's business as usual.
Nothing really changes for us. We kind of broke camp, but we really didn't because it's not game prep week yet. The thing about this camp as compared to others is there's no more two-a-days, right? So it's kind of a seamless transition. Now we have to change the schedule a little bit. We don't have as much meeting time in the afternoon, so we have to condense that in the walkthrough if you want to have a walkthrough. But it really hasn't been too much of a transition other than condensing things because of the schedule, because of the way the camp was set up. So I think this week is going to seem almost like camp to the guys with addition of class. And start Thursday, Friday, that's when they'll start transitioning into scout team, look squads. We'll start getting ready for the first game, that kind of thing.
When Shenander looks at his defense as a whole, he broke down kind of the areas he feels has the most depth.
We're kind of separating into the ones and twos kind of right now and trying to figure out who they are, but I would still say the deepest is probably the D-line. And next, it's probably, I think we feel good about linebackers where we're at, but I think another deep position with the addition of the young guys and some transfers is going to be the defensive backfield.
As for depth chart decisions, we talked to a lot of different coaches here on Monday, and really the answer and the message was the same.
I feel fairly good about, there's about four, there's really a mix of about six of them right now, and they're kind of battling it out right now to figure out who's going to be that fifth one right now or that fourth one. So it's kind of a revolving door a little bit right now for some of those spots. Some of the guys have done a really good job, but again, you never know. One play could change everything. So
who are those guys, can you say?
I really can't say at the moment.
However, we did get a lot of good insight about the secondary today from Travis Fisher. He broke down a number of different guys, and one of the more interesting things he shared was about Aaron Williams, who was cleared today for practice for the first time this August.
I think he healed very quick. I'm not a doctor, but I seen him move around earlier in camp, and I believe that I could have probably popped him in there and made him live then. That's not my call, and so I think our training staff has done a great job of with him and making sure that everything on that end. And my job is just to make sure that he don't sit on that sideline. That he stay getting reps, stay getting mental reps when it's live. He gets the mental reps, and when we can go 7-on-7 and stuff like that, I get him in.
And when you look at this group as a whole, they might be the most improved on the defense since the spring, and even players have said that.
Yeah, it's like night and day, honestly, like Coach say. I mean, just as a defense in general, I feel like a lot of guys are communicating. We firing on all cylinders. I mean, offense isn't holding anything back. We getting unbalances, all types of motions, all types of stuff where we got to switch front, switch pressures, all that stuff. And everybody's operating. We're making mistakes at full speed. And everybody they just making mistakes at full speed and just operating as fast as they can and just working it out. As long as, like the coach say, if one person wrong, if we all wrong, we right. So like pretty much so we just been making mistakes together, making them fast, and just on to the next play, learn. So we're very improved.
And it's pretty clear when you break down this group as a whole, Travis Fisher may have one of the toughest jobs of any coach trying to figure out which guys he's going to use against Akron.
Everything is earned. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. So if he's not at the top of that production chart by the end of camp, then no. If he is, then yes.
The other tough decision this coaching staff has to figure out is the new redshirt rule. Players can now play in up to 4 games their freshman year, and there are a lot of different guys that kind of fall in that category.
Yeah, I think the good thing is with that redshirt rule is you got some time to kind of figure it out. If you need to use them early, use them early. If you need to use them late, you can use them late. So that's still to be determined in a lot of positions too. So there'll definitely be some judgment calls as far as that rule as the season goes on.
Because it could be like game 1, 3.
It could be game 1 or it could be game
9,
10.
You
Yeah,
play guys 4 games over 12. Right?
Yeah, it's 4 over 12. So it's it really is. It's a good rule, and it's going to be beneficial to both the teams and the players. And maybe a guy who early on doesn't pick it up as fast, by the end of the season, maybe he's on top of it and he can play some in. So it'll probably work both ways.
I think it's one of the best. There's a couple of rules that have changed throughout the course of the years, and this, in my opinion, is one of the best things they've done for college football. You get an opportunity for a freshman to participate early, because normally that redshirt year is a lonely year. Now he gets a chance to really be in a game plan meeting, really understand how he affects the outcomes of games, as opposed to just, I'm just going to go line up and give a look right now and not really learn. So I think it's really good for college football to be able to give kids an opportunity to play early. I also think it's going to help in retention. Or if you're late in the season and a kid's redshirting, you don't have to blow his red shirt to get ready for a bowl game or a championship game and things like that. So we're going to have to manage it in terms of participation reports and what we're doing, especially if we can involve some of those guys in on special teams, get them some game reps that way. But I really love the rule.
And finally, Saturday was fan day here in Lincoln, and for guys like Barrett Root, it brought back a lot of memories.
Coach Frost survived fan day. I mean, I wasn't there, but the line, and I mean, was he just was that harder than anything?
You know what? I'm sure he got wore out more than anybody else. It was normal deal for my old Fan Fest days. It was pretty standard, but I think his line was different than everybody else's.
Did anybody have any old school Barrett Root items? Or
I had a couple cool. I had one like a little what they used to call those things, the little mini statues type thing. That was really cool. Not action figures, but starting lineup. Starting lineup.
Yeah.
It looked like one of those, so that was cool. I had a couple good ones, but standard fan day, I think.
Look for the Huskers to start their Akron preparations probably by week's end on Thursday and Friday. With the Huskers here in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.